Joining us now, the great chairwoman of the RNC and, of course, Donald Trump's own family, Lara Trump, who has been ready to rock for this moment. The day is finally here.
Yeah.
We're excited about it. It's battle royale. And I don't know, man. I sense we sense a lot of energy on this program. I sense there's a lot of nervousness in the Kamala side.
Well, rightly so, Benny. I mean, look, this is going to be everything for her. She has been basically it's the basement strategy. They're doing the same thing with her they did with Joe Biden in 2020, except for the fact that they can't use COVID as their rationale for keeping her out of the public eye and out of the public space. She did the one soft CNN interview, 18 minutes, I think, total of her speaking. And she had her emotional support animal with Tim Walz there beside her. She's not going to have that tonight. And she has to actually defend where we are in this country. Kamala Harris, I'll remind everybody, is in the White House right now. So for her to make the case to the American people that, hey, things are great, sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, put me back in here so you can get more of the same, I think is a bit of a tough sell to people when people are having a hard time getting by, when life is expensive, when things have not gotten better for people, they've gotten worse for people under the Kamala Harris, Joe Biden regime. She's going to have a bit of a hard time selling that. And on the other side of the ticket, you've got Donald Trump. You've got a person who actually delivered low prices for people, more jobs for people, manufacturing back to this country, peace agreements instead of wars, a closed and secure southern border. So I can't wait to see, in what, about 2 hours or so, what we're going to get out of Kamala Harris. But I think that they're very nervous on her side. And Donald Trump is coming. He's coming with receipts. He's coming with a plan, and he's coming with actual results that he delivered for the American people.
And so Donald Trump's coming with receipts. I want to talk Trump strategy and Kamala strategy. So first off, Kamala strategy, because we've been hearing a little bit about this, and it's been kind of funny. She's been pre-scripting her comebacks. This sounds like somebody who is running for student body vice president,
right,
and is like shaken like a leaf. She seems very nervous. She was screaming in order to get her I'm speaking moment, get the mics turned on, get a box to stand on, I guess, have notes. She had to fight. She was trying to fight for all of those things. And now we hear that Philippe Rines is playing Donald Trump in a wig and a long red tie. I don't know, man. It seems like major nerves out of Kamala camp.
Well, because Benny, to your point, she is looking for that I'm speaking, that moment. They want the viral clips that they could chop up and put out there on social media and on the internet, because Kamala Harris cannot win on policy. She cannot win on what she's accomplished, because she has accomplished the opposite of what has been good for the American people and the world by and large. Just take a look around, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to take my word for it. And so they're going to have to bank on one of those moments. If what you're doing going into a debate is actually looking to needle your opponent and get your opponent to react, instead of actually talking about a plan forward and a path to a better life for the American people, you're probably doing something wrong. And so that is a bit of a problem, I think, for her going into this. And there is also a possibility that maybe they've overprepared her. She's been locked away in Pittsburgh for 5 days, Benny. What's been going on? Remember when they locked up Joe Biden for 10 days leading into that June 27th debate? How did that play out for him? You can be overprepared. And if she's too scripted and it seems phony, which Kamala Harris tends to seem oftentimes to a lot of people, it's not going to resonate well with the American people. It's not going to come off the way that she expects it to. On the other side, of course, you have Donald Trump, who is authentic as they come. I mean, you can't script this man. Believe me, people have tried, Benny.
I'm sure you've tried.
And it doesn't work. But that's why people love him, his authenticity. And really, when you hear from Donald Trump, you're hearing his true thoughts. You're hearing his true plan. You're not hearing what a bunch of consultants gave to him to say. You're hearing it from the man and from his own mind. And that is something that America is desperate to have after 4 years of Kamala and Joe Biden in the White House.
We rewatched the Mike Pence Kamala debate, which was the last time we saw her debate. She's not a real candidate. She's not a legitimate candidate. She didn't run a primary. Nobody voted for her. So we didn't get to, and nobody got to vet her this time around. And people have sort of like forgotten about her. It was just a few months ago that most of the pundits were talking about Joe Biden kicking her off the ticket, actually, because she was so unpopular.
Yeah.
But I can see why these
clips
are crazy.
I'm speaking. Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well, wait,
I'm speaking.
it'd be important if you said the truth.
It's so
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
cringe.
I'm speaking. Okay. If you don't mind letting me finish, we can then have a conversation.
Almost
okay?
worse than the
Please.
fly.
Non-answer.
Trying to answer you
The
now.
American people deserve a straight answer.
Okay.
not sit here and be lectured
So
by
like this is like nails on a chalkboard, Laura.
Yeah. It's not good. I don't know who likes that. I'm not sure with whom that will resonate. I can tell you as a woman, it makes me very uncomfortable to watch that. And cringe is the right word, of course, for that. And she is also, Benny, going to try and do something where we've heard her do it in her campaign speeches, or those same ones she's done like 25 times in a row. Remember that one? I'm a prosecutor. I know Donald Trump's type. She's going to try and play that role. But it's also something that I think makes people a little like, well, what is it that you're prosecuting? Because you've been in the White House for 4 years alongside Joe Biden. And if the things you're attacking Donald Trump on are the things that your Department of Justice actually weaponized and in order to take him out as a political opponent for your team, I don't know how great that's going to come across for people. That is all she has, though. Let's be clear. She really can't go out there and expand and articulate anything in terms of policy. What have we actually heard from Kamala Harris on anything that she wants to do for the future of this country? So far, she's either stolen Donald Trump's ideas like no tax on tips, or she's talking full-blown communist in terms of price fixing. Whether or not Kamala Harris even understands what that means or how to put something like that in place is up for discussion. She's a little bit like Ron Burgundy. You put it up there on the teleprompter. We know Kamala Harris will say it, but can she actually expand on this? Can she articulate any sort of points on anything? And that remains to be seen. So all she has are those viral moments, those needling moments, those sorts of things. And she's going to try, and I'm sure have many of those tonight. I got to tell you, I don't think Donald Trump is going to take the bait. He's well aware that this is what's coming down the pike for him.
Yeah, cringe flying in on Cringe Force One. We could not believe. I mean, it's just hard to. It's just hard to watch.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch. One more question on Kamala, because you are from the South. Well, at least you live in the South, right? You live in North Carolina.
I'm from
Your family
North
from
Carolina,
North Carolina.
yeah.
It's like family North Carolina. You're so proud of that. You love that. Some people were speculating maybe you'd run for Senate in North Carolina. Who knows what the future will hold?
Who
But
knows?
you're a proud Southern girl. Yet Kamala Harris, who grew up in Quebec, Canada, in a very leafy, beautiful, rich suburb of that foreign country, Kamala Harris somehow has, given the audience that she's speaking to, gets this very Southern affect in her the cadence of speaking. It's very strange. We have like a very short clip here to prove how she. I'm sure you grew up with people who talk just like this. Do you think Kamala Harris will use this accent during the debate?
My friend Quavo would say, he does not walk it like he talks it. Everywhere I go, I tell people, look, you may not be a union member. You better thank a union member. For the 5-day work week, you better thank a union member. For sick leave, you better thank a union member.
So we've all seen it. We've all seen it. It's widely viewed clips. We have hours of it, of Kamala Harris having suddenly this like foghorn leghorn, extra and Gone with the Wind accent.
Yeah.
Do you think she's going to bring that accent to tonight's debate?
Gosh, I hope so. I hope we get hope we get a shot at that one. This is, Benny, this is the inauthenticity that I'm talking about. This is the inauthenticity that the American people really don't like. You have to present yourself as who you are. And for all the criticism that Donald Trump has received over the past 9 years, there is one thing on which you cannot knock him. He is authentic to the core. You do not get more authentic than Donald Trump. He's transparent to the core. And you're never going to hear him coming up with weird accents out of the gate, just depending on where he is, to which audience he's speaking. It's ridiculous. And it's very pandery and really gross to people, I think, to see this. And so I'd love to poll the people in the audience there whenever she actually breaks out this weird accent and say, like, do you guys buy this? Is this positive to you? No one likes that. No one likes to feel like someone's just faking it to be around you. We all know people like that. And quite frankly, we don't like people like that. So yeah, let's hope she breaks that accent out tonight. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, it says so much about her, deeply insecure and doesn't know who she is. And then it says so much as how little she thinks of her audience, how much she's how insulting it is that she thinks people are so stupid they buy this. Okay, so moving on to President Trump, Kamala Harris, I think, is a total wreck leading up to this. President Trump, can you give us some insights as to how he's prepared for this debate?
Yeah, I mean, look, Benny, he's been out there constantly in front of the media. And I think the way you prepare to field questions that are probably going to be very tough questions is you take tough questions and you take them from maybe people questioning you who are not the friendliest. And we've seen Donald Trump in multiple circumstances doing those press conferences, 90 minutes long, taking questions from anyone and everyone. You've seen him sit down and do long form podcast interviews where he really gets to expand on his thoughts on a multitude of different subjects. And of course, he is doing the traditional debate prep. He is actually studying up on who Kamala Harris is. He wants to make sure he exposes her because let's face it, this is probably going to be a 3-on-1 situation. Likely ABC News is not going to go out of their way to be nice to Donald Trump. I'm pretty sure they'll probably be a little bit nicer to Kamala Harris. The best we can hope is that they're honest. And I will say I'll give CNN credit where credit is due. That June 27th debate, they were very even-handed. They were very fair. And that's what the American people deserve to see. But knowing how we probably have to approach this debate, Donald Trump has gone into it realizing he likely will have to expose Kamala Harris for a lot of her very radical values, a lot of the very radical stances she's taken on things, because I don't think ABC News is going to call her out for it. So it's incumbent on him to do that. And he's prepared tonight to do just that.
Any details on what Trump wishes to talk about tonight or any messages that he wishes to push forward? Obviously, there were some very strong comments on January 6th on abortion. These are things that really stuck with people. Some of the even though Trump, you told us before the last debate that Trump was going to be calm, cool, collected, magisterial, and he was, but even he couldn't stop from you did beat Medicare, you beat it to death, and I don't even think this guy knows what he's talking about. Can you tell me, like, what are the platform messages? It's probably going to be the only debate.
Yeah.
Probably going to be the only debate. So what's the message?
Well, by the way, Donald Trump wins more debates. Traditionally, Benny, we have 3 presidential debates. Given the fact that he wiped out their first candidate, one knockout punch in June 27th in that debate, we would like, as the American people, to see Donald Trump and Kamala Harris on a debate stage 2 more times after tonight. I think we deserve to see them and hear all of their policies and what they want to do for this country. He is very happy to do that. I doubt we're going to get that opportunity with Kamala. But, I think it's about comparing and contrasting 2 different presidencies and administrations. Look, Kamala Harris is in the White House right now alongside Joe Biden, wherever the heck he is, probably on a beach somewhere falling asleep. But nonetheless, we have the opportunity to see both administrations and how our life is. He has to bring people back to when he was president, remind them about the things he did, and remind them who brought you the suffering and the pain that we are in right now. Why on earth would you trust Kamala Harris to do anything? She is the one who said she was the last in the room for Afghanistan. She is the one who cast the deciding vote for the $1.9 trillion spending bill. She is the one who was supposed to secure the southern border, and it has been an utter disaster. He is going to have to compare his presidency and how life was under Donald Trump versus how life actually is under Kamala Harris. And I think you're going to hear a lot of that tonight from him. Again, because I highly doubt that David Muir and Lindsey Davis are going to do it for him.
So just in closing on this topic, Laura, you said that Kamala is practicing for a quit. You said she's preparing her comeback and she wants her I'm speaking moment. Yeah. Yet it's President Trump who actually most likely, and if you were to poll people and ask what's the most famous debate moment of all time, without
it's just
question,
awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
So it's like
amazing.
So it's like I think you might have even been in the. I think you might have even been in the room
there
for that.
I was there,
and there weren't a ton of people there, but like the roar from the audience was amazing. So it's like, that. Listen, if you're doing an unscientific poll and you were to ask people what ended Hillary Clinton's campaign in 2016, that was it.
That was it.
Yeah. What's the probability of getting that tonight?
I hope we have that. I hope that for people out there who don't know Kamala Harris, we're able to truly appreciate how radical she is and how dangerous she is for this country. But yeah, I hope for a viral Donald Trump moment, because I love a viral Donald Trump moment. And he didn't even intend it on the June 27th debate stage with Joe Biden, but we got it. We got I don't even think he knows what he said. That was amazing. And I think you can bank on something like that coming out of tonight. I sure hope so. I'm ready for it. I'm waiting for it.
I want to talk very, very quickly about lawsuits and election integrity and your work at the RNC. It's so important. No matter what we talk about on the program, I always want to return here because it's the cornerstone of something new that you've brought to the RNC, and you're really making headwinds now and fighting upstream and getting victories. Can you talk us through some of the victories in the small hours now away from the election?
Yeah, well, this is the most important thing. Look, we can never repeat 2020. We never want to go back and repeat those mistakes. And you can't have Americans not trusting our electoral system here in this country. And so while we've extended the branch across the aisle to our friends at the DNC to come join us in our election integrity pursuit, not surprisingly, Benny, they have not done that. But we have been successful, and we've gone state by state to make sure a couple of things are happening, that the voter rolls are cleaned up. You had Jocelyn Benson, the Secretary of State in Michigan, who did not want to clean her voter rolls. You had 92,000 inactive voters. We had to sue her. They cleaned those voter rolls, and now there's 92,000 inactive voters are off the voter rolls.
Wow. In just Michigan.
Yeah, in just Michigan. In Arizona, we had a big win via the Supreme Court, actually. Arizona was registering people to vote without confirming their citizenship in this country. We took it to the Supreme Court. They agreed with us. And so now you have to make sure that you are actually registering someone who, imagine this, Benny, is an American citizen to vote in our elections. And the wins we have are not just only in that state. They can be applied and used as precedent across the country. So we're having to go state by state and make sure the rules of the road are set up and in place. But additionally, we have been so successful in getting people to volunteer and be our boots on the ground and our eyes on the ground every time a vote is cast and counted. Michael Watley and I pledged 100,000 people to be part of our election integrity team. As of last week, we have 175,000 people who are currently being trained or have already been trained to be there as poll watchers, poll workers in tabulation centers, or legal experts on the ground. 500 lawyers we want in every battleground state, so that we are not waiting until we see a problem, waiting a month, a week later. We're going to address it right then, right there in that moment. And we've used a lot of the primaries as sort of our test runs to make sure that we have everything set up and everything is working in terms of our system. We want every voter, no matter for whom you are casting a vote, whether it's a Republican, a Democrat, or a third-party candidate, to feel like if you're voting in the United States of America, your vote counts. And so we hope that that's what everybody feels as they go out to vote this election cycle. I do want to encourage everybody, get out and vote early. Bank your vote, because life happens. You never know. And we cannot play catch up with the Democrats on election day. If everyone gets out and votes early and then makes a plan to get other people out to the polls, we make it too big to rig. We swamp the vote, and Donald Trump becomes the 47th president. That's the goal, and that's what we've done. But we've been very successful in a lot of our pursuits. A lot more to do, because we know on the other side they're always going to try and have a little nefarious activity, but we're looking out for it, and we're sending a message loud and clear. If you cheat in an election, we'll find you, we'll prosecute you to the full extent of the law.
ProtectTheVote.com. It's on the screen right now, and you have every swing state up there, and every single state in contention with a big race up there. And you can click on the state that you live in and find ways to help. Volunteer and secure your election. Okay.
Please do it. We need everybody. Listen, 175,000, but we would love to have 200,000, 250,000. We also want to be a deterrent, Benny. We can never allow cheating in our elections here in America. Otherwise, we're like a banana republic, third world country. We want to stop it, and we want to make sure that nobody even dares try it this election cycle. So come be part of the team. Thank you.
Yes.
ProtectTheVote.com.
Look at this. And in closing, the Justice Department, undocumented individual charged in connection with voter fraud. Goodness, Laura, this mixed with the Arizona news, that sounds like foreign interference in our elections. And we stand against that. Goodness gracious.
We sure do stand against that.
Yes.
And by the way, we're in election season, Benny, whenever they're bringing Russia back up and trying to make some sort of a connection between Republicans and Russia. Let's be very clear. American citizens are the only ones who should be deciding American elections, period. We can all agree on that. And I would love to see more prosecutions of people who are interfering, who are not American citizens, in whatever form that takes. We love to see that sort of thing.
Yeah, let me know where I can help. I would love that. True foreign interference in our elections.
Yeah.
Foreign nationals voting in our elections. Democrats have fought for it. I'm glad to see some prosecutions, and I'm glad to see Supreme Court victories there. Being America first and American first means only Americans voting and influencing our elections, period. Laura, thank you so very much for being on the program. I know time is short today. This is going to be a very exciting day. Everybody go follow the great Lara Trump. I mean, goodness gracious. Come on, people. She's on her way to 2 million followers. Look at this. And we will be joining on a boat parade, an amazing boat parade on October 13th.
Yes.
I think
Can't wait.
Laura and her great husband will be leading. So maybe the biggest boat parade in human history.
Let's do it. Why not?
See. Yeah. All right, Laura. This is going to be an exciting night. We'll see you online.
All right. Thank you.